again, I can give them the full amount of equity, but typically how we do that is instead of giving them a full $100,000 in their pocket, if you know that's something they're looking for, what we do is we basically break that equity up. I can get them a pretty sizable down payment up front, and then anything remaining, we ask that they carry that for however long they're willing to. And again, I would have to know that from the owner's mouth to kind of know what they're comfortable carrying.
Okay, and then what exactly or is the offer like? What is it called that you guys are doing?
So it's a mix between subject to and seller finance. Basically, what we do is we call it a hybrid. Basically, it's a basically we come in, we leave the current mortgage in place, so they don't have to worry about that mortgage. So again, we can take that off the books. We'll take over all their obligations with it.
But it'll still be in their name, right?
It will still be in their name. The reason we typically keep it in their name is because of the debt service. So, for example, for me to go out and do a loan assumption, right? Number one, you taking 90 days on average is what we see in loan assumption taking right now. And then number two, a lot of times the lenders are not wanting to miss out on that interest rate, so they will try and adjust whatever interest rate they have on the debt to meet the 7-8% interest rate that we have today, right? So that's number one. Number two, like I said, we also everybody does it a little bit different. I can't speak on every other investors, but the way we actually position ourselves, we actually make sure that we put certain securities in place that in the event that we default, the seller is able to go ahead and get that property back, and they're not left at fault and having to have their credit be hit by the mortgage.
Right.
Right. So there are certain securities we do put in place. So again, we'll make sure that they're covered.
How would they verify because how would they verify that the mortgage is getting paid every month?
Okay, that's beautiful. You asking great questions. So we actually put these we put it through a loan servicing company. So basically how it'll work is again, I don't want anybody, so we go through attorneys, number one, but number two, we go through a loan servicing company. So they don't have to depend on me to make the mortgage, and I don't gotta depend on giving them no money to make the mortgage. What we do is we'll go through the loan servicing company. I will hand the money to the loan servicing company. They will pay the mortgage, and then they will also, whatever the seller, we come to an agreement on, they'll also pay the seller. So therefore, they don't have to worry about me paying the mortgage, and I don't have to worry about them paying the mortgage. It'll all be through that loan servicing company, and they'll keep track of that, and then they'll send the seller a snapshot every month of us making that mortgage payment for them. And then, of course, they'll get their money in their pocket.
Okay. So how if I want to get them on farm.
Okay.
But how soon, if they decide to go for it, would you guys be able to close?
Man, to be honest with you, it all just depends on their time frame. Typically, I can close in 2 to 3 weeks, but again, it just depends on them. If they need a little bit more time, that's fine. If they're trying to close fast, I mean, 2 to 3 weeks. And like I said, the title can get back sooner than that. We can close as soon as the title gets back.
Okay, and then me as a realtor, do you guys pay the commission to the realtor as well?
Of course. Like, man, we're gonna make sure we cover your full commission at the asking price. So again, like I said, it just depends on what they're looking to walk away with from the more she's looking to walk away. Again, we would have to talk to the seller and just see what she's comfortable taking. But like I said, depending on what she's comfortable taking, like I said, we can cover your full commission at the full asking price. Not a problem at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a problem at all. Yeah, take your time. Like again, and I know it's a new transaction, so I mean, any type of questions you gotta ask me. I mean, I'm an open book, man. We work with a lot of realtors, especially I'm in Atlanta right now. We just closed on 3 deals with realtors, so I love working with agents. So
yeah, I mean, my broker, he actually purchased a couple properties because he's a big time investor in Houston was subject to.
Oh, really?
So I know I can check and balance with him on this.
Okay.
So I've heard of subject to. I've just never worked the transaction myself.
Oh dang, that's great then. Well, I mean, maybe we need to talk to your broker a little bit more, man. Like we trying to do a lot more in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little weary about it, and I know it's real. I just want to hear that my seller is truly protected and good because they're not investors. It's a family.
Agreed.
A family family of 4, and the wife is pregnant right now, so it's a 3-bedroom home, and they need a new
Ask
home.
him more about himself. What is his main concern? Himself. I forgot.
Worried about the mortgage on it, and also worry about the new mortgage, what they're about to get with a high interest rate. Because I know the property that you interested in will cash flow. They
Right.
only owe, they owe about 200,000, a little bit over 200,000, like 204,000 on the parcel. And then they got an interest rate of 2.83, so they must be paying right now, it's like 1,400. So without a doubt, I know you're gonna cash flow because I know the area and what it's going for.
Okay, understood. So Wesley, let me ask you, as far as how, this whole ordeal go, like, and what is your main concern? Like, I know you want to just, protect your client, and I'm all with you there, man. So like, kind of what's the main thing that's kind of, have you on the fence about subject to and just, doing the transaction this way?
The number one thing is the property's still gonna be in their name. They're trying to purchase a new property.
Okay.
So will we be able to hand over something to the mortgage company where they're gonna apply it to get that debt relief?
Okay, perfect. And that's an amazing question. So to address your concern, a couple of things. It's a reason we actually put that loan servicing company in place. Is because if we're able to show the lenders, so Wesley, I know you probably don't own rental properties, but like I said, I'm an investor, I own multiple properties. The way it works, again, for me as an investor, if I were to go buy properties in my personal name, right? The way I would be able to, the reason I'm able to get multiple properties in my personal name is I'm able to show the actual lenders whenever I go take out a loan that I'm no longer responsible for the payments on that property. So with the loan servicing company, right? Huh?
But then because you placed a tenant in there, right?
Correct. So if it's,
That's based on if you get the tenant in there before they purchase the new property.
Oh, no. Okay, so exactly. So let me explain. So typically, because we're doing the actual transaction this way, basically I'm going to be the tenant at that point. What I would basically do, that loan servicing company is going to basically show where they're no longer responsible for that debt, and now I'm responsible. So since I will now be taking over all the responsibilities with those mortgage payments, again, since I'm going to be taking over that responsibility, now they can turn around and go to another, lending company. Long as we talk to the underwriter and we can show where I'm making the payments on their behalf, a lot of times the DTI will be completely wiped off. A lot of times the lenders don't have any problem getting them approved for the next property. And we've actually done quite a few properties like that. I just had a guy out here in Atlanta, same exact thing. Like we actually put a master lease in place, right? And then depending on the timeline, most of the time the underwriters want a master lease for a certain amount of time. So they'll probably ask, hey, listen, we need to see where a person has been making the payments for 3 or 4 months. Well, basically we'll just put a master lease in place, where the down payment we're giving the seller is, the option payment. And a lot of times that'll completely wipe the DTI off. And a lot of lenders will be like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so yeah, that's a big question I get all the time, but I hope that was pretty clear on the answer.
It is.
Okay.
But you're an hour behind us, right?
Yeah, I think I'm an hour behind you guys.
Okay. Let's do a call tomorrow.
Okay.
Let me talk to my client tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Explain it, and then let's do a call tomorrow. Let's do a call tomorrow. Let's see, what time am I free? Yeah. Can we do a call tomorrow around 7?
7 o'clock. Yeah, that's fine. 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. I just want to make.
PM.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, 7 p.m. works. That's fine. I can make myself available.
8 your time, Steve?
Yeah, that'll be 8 o'clock my time. But man, I'm gonna make myself available if I, that's not a problem.
Okay, let's do that. I'm about to actually give them a call tonight to see if they're up. If they're not up, then I'll just talk to them tomorrow, give them a quick overview and tell them that they can hear from the horse's mouth.
Okay.
At least they can write down any questions and come to the board for the phone call with questions.
Oh, for sure. Tell them to come to the table with any questions they may have, and we can go ahead and get it done. And then, we can kind of go from there.
And as well as, pretty much any decision makers that they would also if they want to have any other people that they want on the call as well, like his wife or something.
Bro,
Yeah, we need to pull over from money, boy. Take an action.
bro, Marv already got Marv in the system. He ain't got any money.
I seen it come up nothing more.
So, okay. He can just fill it out, make sure it's solid.
Hey, yeah, also, Wesley, I don't know as well, so, I mean, again, we can work on this one tomorrow, and we can reconvene, tomorrow at 7. But, I mean, if you have anything else in the pipeline that we could take a look at, like I said, we buy properties like this all the time. We own quite a few, we're pretty well versed in doing these type of transactions, so, again, if you come across anything else across the board, just like this, I mean, we can take a look at it as well.
Okay, now, if you got a default on the property, what happens then? The property go back to the seller?
Yeah, so again, every investor does it a bit different. Me personally, in order to protect your client, I know there's a lot of people out here doing it, but a lot of them are pretty much just trying to lock the property up and sell to people like me. What I would highly advise you to do, Wesley, do you got a piece of pen and paper right now? Okay, so I want you to write down 3 things. Number 1, I want you to write down something called a security deed of trust, all right? So if the seller has equity in the home, the security deed of trust is what's gonna allow them to secure the equity against the home. So that is the protection for your seller. That in the event somebody had, like, if they do a refinance or they sell the property, the seller is guaranteed to get their equity. That's the very first thing you wanna write down. You got that? Yeah. Okay, the second thing, you wanna write down something called a security deed of trust. Basically, I mean, not the security deed. You want to write down something called the promissory note. I'm sorry. What the promissory note does is any agreement that me and the seller make is going to be put down into the agreement. So, for example, us taking over the mortgage subject to and us paying them out for their remaining equity, it will just basically detail all the fine details. And pretty much this is drafted up at the attorney. The main important thing that you need to look out for is something called the performance deed. Now, that goes inside the promissory note. Basically, what that performance deed does, it says in the event that we default 1 day over 30 days, what will happen is the owners will get their property back without the need for a foreclosure. They won't have to go through that lengthy process. The deed will literally just reverse back to them. They'll get a house, completely with the mortgage paid down, because of course we'll be making the payments down. Also, as well, they get to keep our down payment and any equity payments we make. So, in all honesty, Wesley, if we default, that's a win for the seller. They get to take all our money and they get the house back and they get a mortgage paid now. They can just relist and, do the same thing over again. So, in the rare event that we do, default, that's pretty much what happens. But those are the 3 things you need to ask.
What happens when the property get paid off?
Oh, when it get paid, it just get paid. It just gets paid off. Yeah, that. Like I said again, we're gonna cash.
Who owns it at that point?
We'll take ownership. So the way these transactions typically work, right? The mortgage, like I said, we'll be making payments on that mortgage until either one, we pay the mortgage, we continue making mortgage payments every month after month, year after year until it's completely paid off. And then, like I said, also as well, at the same time, we're going to be making equity payments towards the remaining equity that we agreed upon with the seller. Once it's paid off, again, we'll be taking ownership.
What was our ownership from before?
So, you guys pay it off. So how did how did it go into your name? Or what happens if he say, I just want to sell it now?
Okay, yeah. So, let me re-clarify, because I think I might misrepresent. So when we're doing these transactions, the deed, this is actually a sale, Wesley. So the deed actually changes hands at closing. Yeah, so when we first get this transaction going, at the initial closing, title will actually change hands. So we'll actually be the new owners of the property. So like I said again, we'll be the new owners. We'll take over our responsibilities with the mortgage, and we can just, the only thing they will be getting is the equity that they were looking for.
So he goes to your name, the mortgage, the loan stays in his name until paid off.
Correct. Now, again, because, that, type of transaction is taking place, that's why we put certain securities in place to make sure that your seller is protected. Because what some investors do, that, like I told you, they learned this from YouTube, and they try to do the same exact thing without doing any type of transaction, is they'll do something called a naked subject to, where they don't have any of the documents mentioned. And if they default, the seller, they have no way of, no protection. They're pretty much just naked.
So if we go through this and you guys, in a perfect world, you paid off, the deed goes in your name. Once you pay it off, now the loan dissolves away from the seller name. Now the property is free and clear in you guys' name.
Correct.
But if you said if one day go by and the property, the mortgage isn't paid from the 1st to the 15th, so it's the 16th, then the deed automatically goes back to the original seller name?
Correct. Yeah, they'll get a document that literally says, hey, listen, because remember what I told you, they're gonna have the loan servicing company sending them mortgage statements every month. So they'll see if we miss a payment. If we miss a payment, they'll literally have a document that they can sign, take down the county, and they can go get the deed back.
Okay, let's do this call tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, that's not a problem at all. And like I said, if you have any more questions between here and tomorrow, feel free to call me. Like, just let me know.
Okay, I will. Can you take your number? Cause I know I'm gonna reach out to my broker in the morning and have them, ask folk around, get a feel for it, cause I've never done it. He's done plenty of them.
Yeah, of course, that's not a problem at all. And then, also as well, well, Mark can go ahead and shoot you over my information. I'll also make sure I text you as well. I'll get your information from Mark and send it over. But also as well, even with your broker, feel free to have that conversation with him. Maybe, I would love to talk to your broker. It seems like he's done quite a few of those transactions as well. So I love connecting with other investors. So, feel free to do your due diligence. Just, we can talk tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, it's not a problem at all. Well, all right, thank you.
You said 7 for tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So I can get it again.
Yeah, 7 p.m.
Okay, appreciate you, Mark, for linking us together.
Yeah,
Okay, and I had sent you over the sub-2 event. That's just a Facebook group. If you get accepted, I'll still send you over the information. They usually send it over like around on Friday, so so we know where it's at on Saturday.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, like I said, I look forward to possibly getting our first deal done together, Wesley. Man, stick around, man. I would love to do some more deals with you.
Okay, I would, man. Let's see how this one goes, and then I'll space off that.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Let's get this one down first. Okay. All right.
All right, appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you. All right.
Easy.
Let's see.
Shit easy.
But is that anything I could done better on the call?
I think that's the only is the conciseness.
Mhm.
Kind of shun the cards. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
And when he asked about if the seller is going to buy,
Mhm.
you never want to answer about the debt to income ratio till you know when is the seller buying.
Okay.
If they're buying right now,
Mhm.
you can structure it differently.
Okay.
If they're buying later down the line, then it doesn't matter because at that point you have a track history of payments.
Right.
If they're buying right away, then it's just a master lease.
Okay.
They said, which is what the realtor said.
Okay.
Right. So basically, that's how he's like, basically, so if you were to rent it, then you can show. That's exactly what you do. You literally put a fake master lease in place that shows 2 upfront monthly payments on that master lease, have them sign it as you as the tenant, and they can send that to the lender. Now that's if they're buying right away.
Okay.
Right. If they're not buying right away and they're buying later down the line, that's a different story.
Okay.
That's at that point, you just close, you make your payments, you have a track history. But before I answer that question, one, I need to know when is your seller buying? Do you have an idea? Because I can skin that cat multiple ways.
Okay.
Right. That's one. Secondly, what kind of loan? Because if it's a VA loan, I'm gonna structure it differently than FHA and conventional.
Okay. Dang, I didn't.
So you don't want to go straight into the answers before you get specifics.
Okay. Yeah, let me write that. Yeah, I did not know that though. I didn't know.
I would really listen to this because you're missing the conciseness.